Hi, my name is Katie. It's so nice to be with you, and I just want to thank you so much, Bette and Noelle. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I had a couple of different things that I wanted to share with you. For those of you that don't know me, I teach high school, and I teach French. So my days are spent in the throngs of adolescence, and it's definitely real world. And I wanted to share with you an experience that I had last year that I think many of you will be able to relate to. I had a student, and she was very practiced at being in her ego. And I mean, they're all practiced to somewhat, but she was particularly practiced. And she and I were having moments where we were locking it up, you know? And she thought she could direct what was going on in my classroom, and I'm like, excuse me, no, I'm the director. And so, and even though I knew better, that's the kicker. I got right back in my ego, you know. And those teenagers, they live their lives with that, and they don't need the adults in their lives to come at them back with the same ego that they give. Okay, and I did. I did what came naturally. But comes naturally to many of us. I'm sure that some of you have had the same experience, where it becomes this battle of the wills, and you're just butting up, and there is no movement. They don't move, you don't move, and it's I'm going to win, I'm going to win. And eventually, it just felt terrible. There was one day that I ended my class. Normally, I like to end my day with my heart open and feeling good and just being so proud of what I did. And I didn't feel that. My heart hurt. I was going into class feeling braced every day, and that is not how I operate. And nothing I was doing was working. I had hit a roadblock. So that evening I came home and I meditated. And I said, God, this is not working. Okay? I don't know what to do. I don't know. Everything that I've known to try, none of it's working. I'm open. Please show me what to do. And I lifted up, and I saw her for the beautiful soul that she is, just young in the world, you know. And I saw that she was just using the tools that she knew, you know, to manage this confusing world. And God said, just love her. And I said, well, okay. Because at that point, I was out of my ego, I was out of the judgment, I was out of the anger. And I was able to just send her love. And I meant it. It wasn't just like, okay, well, I'll send her some love and be done with this. You know? Which, you know, you could do. But I didn't. I meant it with all my heart, and I just sent it, and I just loved. It was divine to divine, and I just lifted up, and I sent her that love, and I thought, oh, well, okay. And I got done, and I felt peaceful, and I thought, well, we'll see, you know. So the next day, I go into class, and I'm braced. You know, because I've learned to be braced, because you just never knew what was. It just always took a tailspin out into a different direction than I wanted to go. So I braced, and I tell you, the energy in that room was transformed. I was ready for her to come with her stuff, and it was as if that had never happened. It was as if we had never had the hitting the wall, the block, and the entire energy of the room was different. And of course, the kids have no idea. This is all going on in my head while I am teaching my lesson, and I am just going, oh my gosh! I could feel relaxed in my body. That the brace was gone, and I thought, I have got to remember this, because this is so wonderful as a way to get out of those battles. I was so thankful. I was so very thankful. And what's wonderful is I remember to do that quicker now. You know, when I feel that, you know, I can step back and go, oh, okay. And that's this now, I go, okay, just send this love and I'm done with it, I'm done. And it never escalates. So that was a wonderful, wonderful tool that God gave me when I just went and asked with an open heart, I need help here because the rules here are not working. Just to share you another very quick story, much, much lighter, along the same lines as with my school. It was April Fool's Day last year, and I am really not very good at saying untruths. I'm just not a good, you know, people who are really good at creating these stories and they just create this stuff and you think, oh, okay, I'm like really not good at that. So I wanted something fun to do with the kids at school. I'm like, oh, you know, and I've been thinking and nothing's good. Nothing's coming because that's just not, I'm not really good at that. So I was getting ready to walk out the door to school and I sat down on my steps and I said, God, it's April Fool's Day. Could you give me something fun to do with the kids today that would just really just be fun? And I just kind of sat there and I'm like, you know, and all of a sudden, it just came, just that quick. And I thought about it and I went, I think that'll work. So I went into first period and I teach French. And so I don't know if you're aware, but on the Spanish and French halls, there are a lot of culture days where we need to experience the food of the countries. So we have a lot of, not a lot, but more than most departments, parties. And it's extremely important. When's our next eating day? Very important. So I went into class and I said, guys, the school board met last night and they have a new policy and we can't bring any more food from home. We can only have food from the cafeteria, the vending machines. It was beautiful. They all, what? Bowed up. What are you saying? I know, I don't think we can have our parties anymore. We can't bring the food in. And I had every one of them. And I said, and it was, I thought, God, this is really cool. And then I said, of course, what day is it? And they were like, oh, and it worked every period. Because that's the big thing, because by the end of the day, they've all heard from the first period people what happened. And I tried it, I thought people are probably going to know by sixth period. Oh no, it worked just as beautifully at the end of the day. And I said, no, that's God right there. You know, but it was light and it was fun, but it was still God, you know, because I don't, you know, it's hard for me to come up with those things on my own. So I also, you know, have learned to ask. And going back to what Bette said, you know, we three are up here before you today, coming to you with very different journeys and very different paths, having gotten to this place in very different ways. But the thing that we have in common is that we have had the experience of asking and getting an answer that was meaningful in our lives. And another thing that we have in common is that we have made the commitment to ask daily. We ask daily and we practice listening, because sometimes the answers are subtle. Sometimes it's the big, you know, oh, okay, no doubt that was you. But sometimes it's very subtle. And you have to practice. You have to develop the practice of listening. And once you start practicing, you see the guidance that is around you all the time. And so we're in a place where we have made the commitment to ask and to practice that listening. And one of the things that does, the practice that you develop when you do that, when you're in the habit of asking, you tend to ask before you hit the wall. You know, Bette had hit that wall of fear where it was absolutely paralyzing in her life before she finally said, show me, show me. It was paralyzed. Her body was screaming at her, you're not listening. So she finally says, okay, I'm listening. But she, in the process, was totally debilitated. I had hit that wall with this person and I felt like I had nothing I was using was working, and I didn't know what to do. And so when you develop the practice of asking and the practice of listening, you can get the guidance before you hit the wall. And that's the beauty of it. And so I think that's probably what we would most like to share with you today. And while we're on that subject, why don't we practice? Would you be open to going to creating a place where you can take this out and develop that place where you can practice that? So if you would just take a moment and just settle into your chairs, feel your feet on the floor. Just take a deep breath, a deep, loving, cleansing breath. And with that breath, feel God now, the love of God just descending within you, quickening the cells of your body, moving through you, loving you, refreshing you. Feel that God connection. And we ask now that our higher selves be fully awakened and present in our bodies. And once again, we welcome all of our angels and guides and teachers to be with us today. And we ask Jesus Christ once again to be with us. And we feel ourselves begin to lift. And we lift and we lift and we feel all of the struggles, all of the stresses, all of the time constraints, all of the dramas begin to just slip away as we lift. All of financial needs, all of our health issues, everything that is part and parcel of this world begins to fall away. And we lift, and we lift, and we become lighter, and we become freer, leaving behind all of the troubling, stressful things of this world. And we lift a little bit higher and a little bit freer. And we arrive in a beautiful place. A place of perfect peace and perfect clarity, perfect receptivity. And in this place, there is no ego. There is no personality. There is no time. There is no matter, there is no situation that cannot be dealt with. In this place is only love and pure potential. Potential to form everything that we need in our walk in this life. Every relationship, every situation, every health issue, financial issue, job issue, any of the issues that we deal with in this earth can be reworked, retooled, reformed with the help of God and with the love of God. Nothing exists that cannot be reworked in this place of pure love and pure potential. And in this place, we open our hearts to divine love. We open our minds to the divine mind. And Father, Mother God, we ask to be teachable. We ask to be open and receptive to your guidance that is around us all the time. We are your children. And as such, we are here to create this world with you. We have the capacity, with your assistance, to bend time, to move mountains, to transform matter, to serve us as we walk this path with you in this world. Take a moment and breathe the pure potential in of this place. The potential to form whatever needs to be formed with the pure love of God. Because as children of God, we have that capacity and we have that right. Take one more breath, breathe in the potential of this place. And we begin to come back down. We come back down, coming back into our bodies, our beautiful bodies, the bodies that we have chosen to navigate this beautiful world of matter. And Father, Mother God, I would ask a blessing for everyone here today as they go out and navigate their world this week. I would ask that we remember to ask, and that you teach us how to listen. Show us how you speak to us, how you show yourself to us, how you love and support us daily on our walk in this earth. We are listening, and we so want to develop a stronger communication with you. Bless all of these beings as they go out into their week. Love them, support them, and talk to us, God. We so want to hear. We love you so, God. And so it is. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you.